Frizz and Gemz and we back in the spot. Other podcasts beware, we taking your spot. The way we sound on the mic is definitely hot. Stadium seats, we on fleek, you can like it or not. A podcast, stadium seats, the stadium pack. We got the live broadcast and we bringing the facts. See the tailgate crazy, the fans they amaze me. Salute to all the fans who've been rocking with us lately. Each week, stadium seats, here we go. Number one show, that's us, let them know. So when we go live, the magic begin. Box seats, the box office, we call that a win. No secret, sports mania that's always within. Frizz and Gemz, history, let the show begin. Live.
Stadium Seats Podcast, the best in the world.
Yeah.
Frizz, Gemz,
Yeah.
and Tay also.
Wait a minute. I didn't hear
What's up, man?
I didn't hear Tay.
I know, man, she's out for today, but that's okay. The show must go on.
Oh, really?
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, she get to do anything she wants. Okay. Tay.
Hey, man, she's probably riding real high right now after last night's victory. So without further ado, let's dive in here and talk about our World Series matchup. The Houston Astros versus the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
So last night, Gemz, we know that Jose Altuve walked it off with a 2-run bomb, and he hit it off probably arguably the best closer in the game, or one of them.
Yeah, that was clutch. Shout out to the Astros, man.
Yeah, man. If you don't even like the Astros and, you just follow baseball, you had to love that moment last night. That was totally awesome, if you ask me. I mean, just the energy from the crowd. What a storybook ending to put yourself into the World Series, right?
You're right. Walk-off home run against one of the best closers. It was just meant to be. And, shout out to the New York Yankees. They fought back, right? They fought back. They tied the game up late. And they had everything going for them. They had the momentum. But one thing about Houston is that their lineup, I mean, from the beginning to the end, they're dangerous.
Yeah, they are.
They're dangerous. And you gotta, salute to the Houston Astros. They just have a lot of talent in that lineup there, and just to be clutch like that with the home run, that's amazing. So shout out to the Astros again. Well deserved. Shout out.
Gemz, you mentioned a couple things right there about the lineup for the Houston Astros. Well, let me just give you some quick stats here. So
Okay.
The Houston Astros just opened up at a minus 235 favorite here to win the World Series. That's the odds right there, 235. That's the largest since 2007. So they're definitely favored to win this series. Here is my take on this. I think the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals have a pretty good pitching staff, right?
They do.
I mean, that's why they're there pretty much. I mean, offensively, yes, too. But for those two teams to get there, we got some heavyweight matches going up, and it starts on game one, on Tuesday night in H-Town.
Mm-hmm.
It is Max Scherzer versus Garrett Cole. Now, Garrett Cole's ERA in the postseason is .40 with 32 strikeouts.
Right.
Max Scherzer, 1.80. So, I mean, right there, that's going to depict the game right there. Now, here's my take on that. Here's some of the numbers that kind of are mind-boggling to me, minus the clutch big hits from Houston. And you say they're dangerous. Here's what I think. You know, you have Altuve. He's hitting 349 in the postseason. That's pretty good. Do you agree?
Really good.
Marcinick, 333. Not bad. Pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
Now, Alvarez and Correa, 171. Okay. Springer, 152. Reddick, who played in only 9 games out of 11 in the postseason, 136. Tucker, 125. He played in 4 games. Those are low, right?
Very low.
But they just come through, man. You know, they're not hitting the ball very well, but they have timely hitting. You know what I mean? Like Correa and Springer, you know, 171 for Correa and 152 for Springer, but they've hit key home runs or, you know, key extra base hits.
Yeah, like in game 4, you know, Springer and Correa, you know, it was their hitting that powered the Astros, you know, to the game 4 win over the Yankees, you know. So I know you're telling us the stats, saying that, you know what, their stats are low, but they come when it's time to perform. It always seems like Springer, Correa, and the cast always steps up to get one big hit or that crucial play that just jumpstarts the Astros. And it
like
happens.
Last night when Reddick made that dive and grab in right field, or when they doubled up Sanchez there at the end, you know, on that great double play. I mean, just momentum swings. And I'm not saying that Astros are a bad hitting team, because they are not. You know, they can hit the baseball, but I'm just saying if you're a numbers guy.
Yeah, if you're looking off the stats and you're a numbers guy, you're like, oh, well, how are they doing this? Well, they're clutch, and they've proven to be clutch.
Now, if we dive into the Washington Nationals side, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, you got Rendon, who I think is the best hitter in baseball, or one of them. He's hitting 375 in the postseason. You know, and if you look down the list, it Kendrick and Turner and Soto, all those guys that have played all 10 games, you know, even Eaton, they're hitting 230, 260, 280, 290. But you can't even compare that, because are the Cardinals even on the Yankees level?
No, they're not. But I'll tell you this, in my opinion, about the Nationals. You know, this is going to be an exciting World Series due to the fact that if you like pitching, and I want to see if you agree with this, if you're a baseball fan and you like pitching and you like a chess match, this is the series for you. Because the Cardinals didn't have, you know, the same, you can't compare the Cardinals to the Yankees. But I'll tell you this, you can't compare, in my opinion, the Nationals pitching to the Yankees. I think the Nationals got better pitching. So I think these games are going to be low scoring games. I think it's going to go 7, but it's going to be low scoring games. And again, you made a great point about the Astros, Correa, Springer, those guys that have, you know, low batting averages during the regular season. They seem to step up in the big moments. They're going to have to come ready to play, because this is better pitching going up against the Nationals versus the Yankees. So if you're a baseball fan and you're into pitching and you're in the low scoring games, and it might be boring at times, these are the games that's going to be the most exciting for those particular type of fans there. But,
you know,
go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, it's going to be good matchups, but, you know, in game 2, you know, you're going to have Strasburg versus Verlander. You know, Verlander had a couple rough first innings, you know, in his last couple starts. His ERA is 3.70 and Strasburg's 1.64. Both those guys, you know, Strasburg has 33 Ks in the postseason, and Verlander has 29 Ks.
Now, Strasburg isn't the same guy, but he's still good. So
I know. I'm not saying he's not good, but I just think with the experience there in Houston, I think they grab another title. I'm making my early prediction.
Wow. Okay.
I
Let's do
know
it.
I know Tay will probably agree because she's riding Astros all the way.
I mean, can we really take her opinion serious when it comes to the Astros?
Yeah, we probably could. She knows baseball, so
She does knows baseball. She knows baseball. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that she doesn't know because she does.
Are
And
you
shout out
talking
to
about a bias thing here?
yeah, I'm talking about being biased. Like, let's just say
Bro.
that, let's just say the Astros wasn't that good, right? Let's just say they are great, but let's just say they weren't that good. She would pick them anyway, wouldn't she?
Bro, who do I pick every week?
I know, but I'm just saying, and that's something that irks me. That's something that irks me when it comes to you and Tay.
Well, you
just
know
want to
what?
put that out.
Go ahead and keep doing your thing with New England too, because
I
picked
the Jets.
Yeah,
I picked the Jets.
You know what
Frizz.
I'm saying, though.
I picked the Jets, Frizz. Okay, move on.
Yeah,
Let's go. Move on.
My early prediction. Let's move on. And my early prediction in the World Series is Astros take this game in 5.
In 5?
Yes, I'm saying it right now. Astros take this game in 5.
Now, let me question you on this. Who's pitching? Pull up those stats again. The first game and the second game.
I already told you. Scherzer versus Cole and Strasburg versus Verlander.
Right. So you're saying that the Nationals won't pull out a win with those two starting pitchers in the lineup?
I don't think so.
That's mind-boggling to me. But okay. You done with your prediction? You done?
Well, then you got Greinke versus Corbin, and then
we all know how Greinke is right now. Greinke did good against the Yanks, without a doubt. He did okay, but we're going to see against the Nationals. We're going to see how he does because he's key, right? Wouldn't you say he's key to the bullpen and strategy about bringing guys in early or not? Greinke, like, wouldn't you feel like his performance is key?
Yeah, I do.
Right. So we're definitely gonna see if he's gonna step up in the World Series again. This is a better pitching team than the Yankees. Now the bats are questionable when it comes to the Nationals, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? Their bats are kind of. I think the Astros got better bats. What you think?
I think it's pretty even.
You think it's even?
I think the Nationals just haven't.
The Astros got.
Well, I mean, I agree, but I just think the Nationals haven't played somebody at caliber as the Astros yet. So, in the National League playoffs are kind of weak, if you ask me.
Don't think that the Nationals can't step up to another level. Okay?
What's your prediction?
My prediction is the Nationals in 7.
Okay.
And,
well,
we'll be partying in Washington D.C.
Well, shout out to the World Series. I got the Astros.
This is a great series. This is going to be a great series. I can't wait.
Gemz,
I can't wait.
You're going with the Nationals, and we already know we got our girl Tay. She's going with the Astros as well. So
we know.
We'll be diving into that. Hey, let's move on here because yesterday we had some interesting games in college football. So let's dive into the first one right now, and it was the big whiteout game over there in Penn State with the visiting Michigan Wolverines. So what's your take on that, Gemz? I know you were posted up watching that game. What do you think?
Well, Penn State came out lights out first half. Lights out. They were throwing the ball everywhere. They were running. They got a really talented offense, a very good offense up there at Penn State. And the defense, I mean, they just single-handedly just, shut down the Michigan Wolverines there. Now, the second half was a little bit different for Frizz, because, the offense slowed down a little bit. Michigan had some opportunities, and they capitalized on those opportunities in the second half there. Okay. But, I feel really bad, even though I am a Penn State fan there, and I was cheering for Penn State. The receiver Bell, from Michigan, he had an opportunity to really tie the game up at the end. and it was a pass from Patterson that, I think we could have caught. Definitely, like, Bell was wide open in the end zone, and he just couldn't come down with it. And sometimes you get those breaks in big games of that nature, and Penn State just came away with the victory, 28-21 in the final.
Well, heck yeah, man. Penn State, they put themselves in a great position, to possibly play in that Big Ten championship game, and we'll respond to an email.
Shout out to Sean Clifford, man. Shout out to Sean Clifford.
14-25, 182 yards, 3 TDs.
Run some stats on if you got them up.
I do. Not very big rushing stats for Penn State. Slade had 3 carries, 48 yards. Hamler had 6 catches, 108 yards, but with those big 2 TDs for Penn State. So,
Hamler had a great game.
Before this game started, just watching game day and stuff like that, like to be at that whiteout, to be awesome, But the reason that Penn State won this game is because they have the best defense in the country. They do. And they're explosive. They have a good pass rush. I know Shea Patterson did his thing a little bit there, and he stepped up. He threw the ball a lot more than I thought. 24-41, 276, 1 pick. I
thought he did good last night. I thought he was composed.
Yeah.
It's hard to go up there and play in a whiteout. I thought he did a good job.
Cabernet had 81 yards, 2 TDs. And then Nick Collins, their big-time receiver over there, one of them, because they got some big guys, 89 yards. And I know you said that Bell dropped a key touchdown there with, I think they were they on the 3 or 4 yard line? Just dumped it over the middle. He dropped it.
Yeah. I'm Frizz. I'm telling you, like, it was
I saw it.
No more than a 3-yard pass, and it was just, he should have caught that ball. It would have been a tie game.
Yeah, I saw it. So I saw the highlight after that, and I did agree. It was catchable ball. I know that guy feels like crap today. That could have pushed that game into OT, and then Penn State just, ran it out. So without further ado, since we're talking about this Penn State game, we got an email.
Yeah.
We got an email from one of our fans, Stadium Seats fans. We love you, fans. Remember, hit us up. Email us your questions at stadiumseatspodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at Seats Stadium. DM us a message that you want us to talk about on your show, because that's why we do this. We do this for fun, and we do this for the fans. Hey, this guy, his name's Bucky, okay, from Lincoln Place, Pennsylvania.
Shout out to Bucky. Buck.
What up, Bucky? You're a fan. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
This email says, with that Wisconsin loss, guys, first of all, love the show. How does that affect Penn State playing in the Big Ten championship? I'd love to hear your responses. You guys are the best. Gemz, Frizz, and Tay, much love. Bucky, LP.
Yes.
All right.
Salute the Buck. Yeah.
Go ahead, weigh in.
I'll start. So, after last night's win against Michigan, I think now, the biggest threat in this conference here is Ohio State, in the Big Ten. If it wasn't clear before this weekend, it's clear now. After yesterday, seeing that Wisconsin had a loss 24-23 upset against Illinois earlier in the day, it kind of removed some of that energy, coming from the Badgers and what they were doing during their campaign during the season. So if you can't beat Illinois, you're not going to beat Ohio State. You agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
Ohio State looks good.
And I think if we pull up the schedule there for Penn State, they got Michigan State next week, and they play Ohio State in 3 weeks, I believe. So that's going to be the key game, unless, Penn State, there's an upset moving forward with their schedule before they get Ohio State. I think this win here against Michigan was a key win here to solidify that big game, that big conference game to see who's going to be the champions of the conference. So,
because
now,
but hold on. You know how the East will play the West.
Absolutely.
So Wisconsin losing that game now puts Minnesota at 4-0.
Minnesota's undefeated. Yep, you're right. Good team. Shout out to Minnesota.
Are they gonna roll into that game in the Big Ten championship?
It's looking like it for right now. I mean, you got to look at Minnesota's schedule, and you got to look at Wisconsin. You just got to see what big games that they got left on their schedule there.
What if this is just what if Penn State beats Minnesota and Wisconsin wins out? What do you think? And maybe let's just say maybe Minnesota drops, another game.
They would give Wisconsin the edge. It seems like they always give the most talented team the edge there. I know I don't know if they go off the point system or what's going on with that. That's too over my head. But I think the Badgers would get the edge on that.
Yeah, because they do play each other at the last game of the season, Wisconsin and Minnesota.
They do play each other, and it just seems like the win, you got to look at the Badgers' wins versus the Minnesota's wins, how bad they're beating teams. I mean, all of that comes into play in college football. So, there's a lot of things that are evaluated into who gets the edge over what team. So I think the Badgers, though, at the end of the day, will come out on the other side.
Yeah, I think you're right, too. I just don't think that, they're good enough or whatever. But I think the biggest game is going to be, that Penn State-Ohio State game. So to answer your question, Buck, from Stadium Seats, Penn State takes care of business, even if, they keep winning here and they beat Ohio State. They're going to be in the Big Ten championship. And if they beat Ohio State, they're going to be in the playoffs.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, just the schedule coming up here with Penn State. On Saturday, on the 26th, they got Michigan State in Michigan State. Then, on November 9th, they got Minnesota. And then on the 16th, they have Indiana, and that's in Happy Valley there. And then, on 11/23, they play Ohio State. So I'm seeing their schedule there. They should. I mean, Michigan State, you can't take them for granted at all. It's a pretty talented team, but we all seen what Ohio State did to them a couple weeks ago. So and you got Minnesota, even though they're 4-0. You just can't take these teams for granted there.
No doubt.
Indiana, I don't see Penn State losing to them. So yeah, on the 23rd, it's going to be a great game here. So Penn State all the way. Nittany Nation. Let's get it.
Shout out, Bucky. Appreciate the email love. We're always looking for questions to talk about here on Stadium Seats. So that's what we do. Hey, like you already mentioned, other big games yesterday. Illinois knocked off Wisconsin. Florida.
That was big.
Florida prevailed over South Carolina. No other big upsets there. Georgia took care of Kentucky in a slow start. The only other ranked team that lost was Boise State late last night. They lost 28-25 to BYU. So they'll be getting knocked down a little bit from 14. Hey, yesterday, Gemz, I got to go to the UT game against Kansas.
And how was that experience?
Well, I mean, it's not my first UT game over there in Texas, but I got a couple things. Number one, UT, you are absolutely garbage.
Whoa. Don't say that. Let's keep it positive. Hey, what are we talking about here? What are you doing?
You played a 2-4 Kansas team that came to your stadium, okay? And it was a shootout. I thought I put on our Twitter stadium seats. We're here right now. This should be a blowout, right?
Right.
This should be a blowout. No, not even close. Last minute field goal for the win. A win's a win. I get that, UT. Shout out to the win. But, man, their offense looks so predictable, okay? Their secondary is bad, okay? I mean, It looks like they were playing man most of the time, just from the stands point of view. And I'm just really surprised that a top 15 team, the way
it's giving up 48 points, right? They gave up 48
to a
points.
2-4 football team, because
2-5 now.
2-5 now. A kid by the name of Stanley, he had 310 yards for 4 TDs. They had 100. Their running back had 190 on the ground.
Yeah.
And Ellinger, obviously, he was 31-44, threw for 400 yards of 4 TDs. But when do they look in the mirror and say, hey, man, we got to get better, man. We're not even going to, right now they're probably out of the Big 12 championship. I mean, and then another thing, Gemz, that I want to talk about real quick is, how is a stadium so quiet if there's 97,000 fans?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because when your team's giving up 48 points and to a team that's not ranked, they're 2-4, and you're expecting your team to go in and handle business so the stadium could get crazy, get loud, cheer for their team. But no.
Even, I'm just trying to
come
say,
out flat.
It's a sellout. You're looking.
It's a big stadium in Texas. Yeah, it's a big stadium in Texas. It's gonna be a sellout all the time there. But for your team to give up 48 points, I would be quiet too to a Kansas team, wouldn't you?
Okay, but even in the beginning of the game,
if you were the coach, listen. If you were the coach at the end of the game, are you high fiving your players there as a coach, or are you really scared?
No, I mean, whoa, that's either here nor there. I'm talking about the crowd here. Players feed off of crowd energy, right? Even when the game was 0-0, well, Texas jumped on them quick. It was 7-0.
14-3. Yeah, 14-3.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, first drive of the game, bam, TD, Crowd just sitting there. All right. They took them too lightly. What I'm saying is, great experience going to UT, great tailgates, great barbecue.
Did you run into any fans, Stadium C fans?
Actually, I didn't.
We're not there yet?
Not at all. They didn't even know who I was.
Oh, okay. We didn't touch that market yet.
We ain't even close. We got 30 followers now on Twitter. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're moving slow.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, real quick to end that I was at the UT game, man. Great people. Great tailgate experience. They do it right down there for the fans. If you're hungry, man, they hook it up with great barbecue. You could pay $12 for a beer. You can pay $12 for a hot dog inside the stadium.
$12,
just like any stadium. But great atmosphere, minus the crowd. To me, disappointing. Get louder, Texas. Come on. Show up.
Yeah. I just want to say that the Arizona Cardinals are up 17-0 against the Giants.
All right.
Now.
And you know what, Gemz?
What's up with that?
Well, we all know that you just mentioned that, saying they need Eli Manning back into that.
Yeah, Jones is -8 right now. What's going on?
Well, that means he isn't throwing a positive pass. Hey, real quick, break down some of the
second quarter.
We'll break down some of the scores. Rams are tied 3-3 right now. Dolphins. The Dolphins, shout out to the Dolphins, up on the Bills right now. 7-6. Tay picked the Dolphins.
7-6.
Hey, remember Tay picked the Dolphins?
I know, but listen, 7-6, and you're giving them a shout out. It's 1 point. Come on,
doesn't even matter to me. Okay, they're up 7-6. The Dolphins have hope, and if the Bills lose to the Dolphins on the Buffalo Bills, hey, I better be quiet because the Steelers play them next week, right?
I know, so you probably want Buffalo to lose.
Jacksonville's struggling with the Cincinnati Bungles 0-0. The Vikings are down to the Lions 14-7. You already mentioned that Cardinals blowout right now. The Texans are down 7-0 to the Colts. That's surprising. I know that's going to be a big game, a close game too.
I picked the Colts. Don't be surprised.
Well, I'm not. I didn't mean surprising. I just thought it would be a tie ball game still, or 7-7 or 14-7. I considered that game right there being more of a shootout game. You know,
is Deshaun Watson in your MVP talk now? He's in mine.
He's close.
He's in mine. He got to win this game. He's in mine.
He is. I agree with you there because, Mahomes now being down. And that brings us on to our next topic, Gemz. Pat Mahomes. We know that he dislocated his kneecap. He said he's out. Well, they said, the team doctors, he's out for 3 weeks, maybe sooner. What's your take on this? And if it's maybe sooner, will they be rushing him back? And also, what are the Chiefs' hopes now in either winning that division or yet alone making the playoffs?
Well, they got a kind of a tough schedule coming up. So he's out 3 games, correct? So you got the Packers, you got the Vikings, and you got the Titans.
Yeah, those first 2 you mentioned are going to be pretty brutal with Matt Moore. Matt Moore, bro.
All right. Shout out to Matt Moore. He's in the NFL. Shout out to him. So I don't see them. We get your point. Thank you. I don't see them. I don't see them beating Aaron Rodgers and staff over there. Even though that it is in Kansas City, I think Aaron Rodgers just made for those type of games. Outside, cold, he's ready.
Dude, because your team, the Oakland Raiders, just threw a TD pass to go up on the Packers. So
yes, I got the LA hat on. You
got your Lokes
ready
on?
To go. Got the Lokes, everything.
Looking like Easy E.
So not Easy, but shout out to Easy, legend. He's a legend. I don't see the Chiefs beating the Vikings at all. That defense is just too stout, and you need someone like Mahomes behind the helm to lead your team to victory. Now they have all the talent in the world on the offensive side with the receivers. The run game is kind of limited right now. I don't think they use the run game a lot. They might have to start using the run game more since Mahomes is gone, but I don't see them beating the Vikings. I do see them coming and beating the Titans. I mean, the Titans, they're just confused, right? Like we could agree on that, with the quarterback switch, and you just don't know what you're going to get with the Tennessee Titans, but they're going to lose 2 out of the 3 games, and hopefully they don't rush him back. I mean, he is the franchise quarterback, and you just want him to be ready. I know, like, they want, that they want to win the Super Bowl now. This is their time. They have a lot of talent on the offensive side, but that defense is they got a lot of holes in that defense, the Kansas City Chiefs, and they've been exposed the last couple games. So, that's kind of like my take on them. Hopefully they don't rush Mahomes back, but they're definitely dropping the next 2 out of the 3 games.
I agree too, man. Like you said, the thing I do agree with the most of what you said is they do have offensive weapons, but who can throw them the ball? The only thing that I kind of remember about Matt Moore is when he was in Miami and when Bud Dupree took his head off when he was sprinting out to the right near the sideline. This is a couple years ago, and Bud Dupree just decapitated him on a hit. And, he's a journeyman, obviously, in the NFL, and guess good enough to be a backup in the NFL, but you ain't going to be able to sling it around like.
No, he used to be a starter. He did okay in Miami. I mean, it's Miami, so okay is okay. But I just don't see him winning against the Vikings defense or, outscoring Aaron Rodgers. It's just not going to happen.
I agree with you. I agree with you, buddy. And I just, it's a shame that this year for our next topic, that
A lot of injuries.
yeah, that's our next topic here on Stadium Seats is the injuries that are happening, especially to quarterbacks, right? That are going down for season-ending injuries. Nick Foles started it off, I believe, right? He was the first one. Then you have Minshew, which is okay. He's he stepped in there. Then you have Big Ben go down. Then you have Drew Brees go down. I think they went down in the same week. Now you got Mahomes. Yeah. Did I miss anybody?
And Mahomes, he's the face. He's the face of the NFL
he
right
is.
now.
And
I don't think it's Brady anymore.
You're right.
Brady's just
it is the new generation of the NFL that is coming along, which is fine. It happens. But what I'm saying for the game, when big stars like this go out, it hurts it, right? Because people kind of, lose a little bit of interest here, lose a little bit of hope, blah, blah, blah. Like Chiefs fans right now, what are they going through?
Yeah, they're very concerned. I mean, they have the best quarterback in the game.
If any of our listeners are Chiefs fans, hit us up, man. We want to know how you feel.
Shout out to the Chief Nation out there.
We want to know how you feel.
How do you feel about that?
We want to know how you guys feel about this, and we want to get a take on what you think. So,
and why does Kansas City have the best barbecue?
But they don't.
How you know?
I've been to Kansas City.
Don't. But did you taste their barbecue?
No.
Okay, so how can you say that?
Well, first of all,
wait a minute. No, answer the question. How can you say that?
We all know that Texas has the best barbecue.
Here we go. Being biased again.
And I'm not just saying that because I reside here, man. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Why? Tell me why.
Because it's so good. It's so juicy.
It's so good, and that's why.
I'm telling you right now.
So if I go to Kansas City and
look, if you want to really get into this argument, you can go anywhere pretty much in the state of Texas, but in Central Texas, okay, the brisket and the barbecue is legit, dude. I'm telling you, like world known, okay? I even know, I'm not going to say her name, I'm not going to put her business out there, a lady, okay, that was inducted into the Barbecue Hall of Fame down here. Okay.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you what, it was probably the best brisket I've ever had my whole entire life.
Salute to that lady. Salute to her brisket. But
didn't mean to shoot her down.
No, yeah. Hit the wrong button. But what I'm saying is that's great. And I'm not saying that Texas doesn't have the best, like good barbecue, but compare it to some, like you have to go on a little tour here. You got to go to Memphis. You got to go to Kansas City. You got to go to Georgia. You got to go to.
Let me correct myself then.
You got to go to Alabama. Like you got to go.
Well, let me correct myself. It's not the best then in the world if I haven't tried something else. I agree. But
Frizz, you just made a statement saying that Kansas City doesn't have better barbecue than Texas. And I asked you, I said, now, how do you know it? Did you taste Kansas City barbecue? What did you say, Frizz?
But I haven't.
No. You cannot make a statement.
You know
like
what?
That.
I'm staying in my ground. Having Texas brisket is probably like having a McRib at McDonald's in any other state. That's it.
What?
Yep.
Did you just say that?
I said that.
Move on, because that wasn't a good example. You might get some heat from that. Move on.
Oh, McRib. Hey, hit us up, Stadium Seats Podcast at gmail.com. We're here for the love and we're here for the fans. And we're here to argue about different stuff. And I hope you like the show because
poll question real quick. Is Tay coming back?
Tay's coming back. Tay's flying back into town today. She had to go, but she's coming back. Don't worry about it, man. She'll be here. Show must go on with and without. Real quick shout out. We did put a poll up today on Twitter. Right now, we only got one vote. I put how many yards? How many yards will Saquon Barkley have? 0 to 50 and 51 to 100 plus. So one vote on there. They're saying 51 to 100 plus. If we look at that right now, we're pretty close to our one vote person getting it. I think he's at about 30 yards right now. So
he's the whole offense. This is what I said. This is what I said the last episode. Don't rush that guy back. I mean, Jones got -8. Bring Manning back. At least you'll get more yards. You know, games will be more competitive. Like, come on, this is the Arizona Cardinals, and you're down 17-0. Let's go.
And a couple things we did talk about Minshew real quick being the backup. Man, I don't know if anybody saw him today walking into the stadium, but that dude is wild, and I like him. Shout out to Gardner Minshew. He came in today rocking like you know a cowboy hat, looking like he was going to ride a bull at a rodeo. But you gotta like that dude.
He has his own style. Shout out to him.
He definitely does. He's trying to do his thing down there. And it'll be interesting when Foles comes back, what they do. We touched upon that already.
Minnesota's about to tie it up.
And also, real quick update. Adam Thielen, he's questionable to return. It looks like he got a hammy. The Josh Jacobs also went out in that Raiders game early. So let's see if he comes back.
This is interesting. The San Francisco 49ers versus Washington. It's the second quarter and 0-0.
Yeah. I mean.
Right? Interesting. Just interesting.
I told you that game was going to be tough for one reason, because San Fran's traveling from west to east.
And it's raining a lot in Washington right now, I think. So that weather, watch out for that weather.
Yeah, so, you know, before we end the show, Gemz, we're going to talk about what you like to do, okay, on your Halloween pumpkin. You know, we're getting close to Halloween. Like, what do you like to do?
What?
Yeah, we're Stadium Seats loves the holidays here. So look, here,
okay.
Are you the person, I'll tell you what I'll do after you tell. Are you the type of person that, you know, lets the kids or whatever, you know, draw on the pumpkin, paint them up? Or are you the old school carver, pull the seeds out, throw them in the oven type person?
No, I'm not that at all. I don't carve. I don't do any of that. But I will color.
All right.
I will color, draw on the pumpkin.
See, man, that's no fun.
Make it nice, artistic. Why is it no fun? Don't bash what I do. Do I bash what you do?
I'm not bashing you at all by any means.
You mean that?
I'm just trying to say, what don't you like about like carving a pumpkin? Like,
I don't like
why?
to
Is
do
it
it
messy? The gooiness?
Okay. I'm not. Yeah, it's messy. I don't want to deal with the seeds. Okay, I don't want to do a cleanup after. I'd rather just, you know, show the world my artistic skills when I draw on a pumpkin.
Yeah. No,
is that so bad?
Not at all. So,
like, you're very judgmental on this episode.
All right,
I don't
so
like it.
I'm the type of person for Halloween, and no, I'm not judgmental right now. I'm the type of person to go ahead and buy the little stencil book, right? And stencil, hey, let me hear my part, man. Come on. So that's what Frizz does. Frizz gets the stencil book. He puts the little stencil on there. You know, it takes some time. You got to put all the little dots in there. Then you pull it off. Then I go ahead and carve it, get all the nice little deals going, you know, try to make it as scary as possible. Then I clean it out, you know, and I bake the seeds in the oven with some salt. And I put them in a baggie and I eat them. Pumpkin seeds, man. Fresh pumpkin seeds. That's what I'm talking about right there, Gemz.
Ooh. Shout out to Frizz and his pumpkin seeds.
Hey, whatever.
So.
And let me tell you another thing. And I make a Steeler pumpkin every year. That's what I'm talking. Yeah.
That's great.
You know.
Shout out to everybody that carves pumpkins, who draws on their pumpkins. And
hey, man, it's Halloween. We got to have some fun. Hey, we're about to get out of here, but the Bills did score. They're up 9-7. Remember, hit us up, stadiumseatspodcast@gmail.com. Seats Stadium on our Twitter. Listen to us on Spotify, iTunes,
Best in the
iTunes
world.
podcast,
Best in the world.
YouTube. We just got the audio up there, but tell us how you like.
Any other podcasts that question that?
Yeah, tell us how much
shout.
you love the show. Frizz, Gemz, and Tay, we're here for you. Tay will be back next week.
We'll say Tay.
We're
We'll
out of
say.
here. Stadium seats. Yeah.
What can I say? It's the end of the show with Gemz, Frizz, and Tay. So tune in the next week. We bringing the heat. And subscribe to the page. That mean we hot in the street. At Seat Stadium. The Twitter be that. Tay with the topics. He's bringing the facts. See the style so great and the swag so bomb. Stadium Seat Podcast at gmail.com. Love.